Welcome, Black.
Welcome, Black. You are listening to the Seeds of Revolution, Daughters of the Whirlwind podcast,
where we discuss legacy, history, resistance, and forward movement.
The revolution is live. Welcome, Black.
Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody.
So great to be here once again with my sisters.
I got my sisters.
Yay.
And today, we're just hanging out today, y'all.
Yes.
You know, we've had guests for our past couple of episodes.
Yes.
In-house guests.
Yes, in-house as well, yeah. And we're grateful for that. And we're also grateful to be, you know, in the energy and space of each other.
Yes,
You
always.
Yes.
Always.
And having some sister talk. Some
Yes.
sister dialogue.
So that's what we're going to do today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we just have like some really fun questions. You know, as we know, we say it all the time, you know, life be life. And
Yes.
And this is Dr. Asantewa Sunni-Ali here, in case
Yes.
folks are, I know we all sound alike.
Yes.
And so we want to make
And
sure
look
that,
alike.
and look alike.
And look alike. Yeah.
We want to make sure that folks know who we is, who we are. But, you know, with lifing, I think it's important and intentional, just like we talk about, you know, mental health for the past few episodes, and even thinking about like seasonal changes and how that changes your mood. You know, I know every time fall comes around or winter, I
It's in
kind
a
of get a
different
little
space.
sad, you know, and I'm
Yes.
less active.
Yes.
You know, and then the sun is not out as
Right.
much and
Right.
all of
Weather.
that stuff. And so I think it's equally important. We talked about The Joy Strategist, you know, that book by Grace Harry last episode. But it's also important to think about, you know, just being playful and being intentional about that.
Yes.
Like everything doesn't always have to be serious. It's okay. You know, because life is going to continue to be
That's
serious
life.
and you're going to have
Yes.
challenges. And it's okay to be intentional about, you know what? I'm going to either host a game night, I'm going to attend a game night, or I'm going to, you know, sit and just have conversation.
Yes.
You know, and it can be over juice
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, your beverage of choice, your
Yeah.
food of choice, or nothing at all, you know, and just enjoy the moments.
Yes.
And enjoy fellowship and companionship with those who you love.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the vibes that we're on.
Yes.
today.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Today. And so some fun questions. I'll start with
A lot of fun
your
questions.
most prominent childhood memory.
Wow. This is Aiyisha T. Obafemi. My most prominent childhood memory? That's very hard to answer because I feel like there are so many memories that marked certain things that are all prominent. The one memory that stands out, and that's not to say that this is the most prominent, was realizing that
It's hard for you to pick one.
I know because I'm
She's still in her head like, wait.
right. Do I want that one or do I want that one?
Yeah.
Was going through high school, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, not living in the same house
Moving.
with
No, why you
parents
had to
and siblings because it is very prominent. And I
Yeah,
think because I've
it
been
is.
talking about high school and I was just in New Orleans, you know, where we lived, you know, our second home, which is home to me more because when we moved there, I was in the 6th grade. And then when we left, I was in my first year of college at Xavier. I had just
Wow.
finished that. So
Yeah,
that's the
is.
place that raised me. And so I was just with some of my high school friends, including my high school best friend and who's still my best friend. Well, she's been my
They
best
was
friend
your
since
family.
middle school, actually. So it would be that. That was really an interesting time for me. You know, in high school is that time when I feel like, I mean, you always need your parents, you need your mom, but things are going on so much. It's so different because that's the last step before adulthood. And so there's so many things happening with you trying to interact with people and, you know, all the different things that you're dealing with. And I wasn't able to really, you know, I didn't have mommy there to kind of be able to bounce things off of her daily. So, yeah, I would say that's a very prominent memory of mine from a childhood. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. And I'm realizing, too, how hard it is because I started thinking, like, what's mine? And the food don't know hers either.
No, actually, I do.
Okay, so you go.
The one I choose to share, because it is a few, but my growing up prominent memory is when I had to move to New York with my auntie Laverne for a year.
There's a theme. There's a theme
without my
here.
siblings.
There is a theme here.
Yeah, I didn't. It was like I was the only child because she didn't. Our auntie, didn't have children. We were her children. So I lived with her for a year by myself, and that year was very, very. It was challenging for me in different ways because I was so used to having siblings, and then being the oldest of our set of children, not the oldest of us all. This is Mdaiyah, everybody talking. It was like I didn't have the responsibility at that moment or that year to help mommy take care of, you know, our younger siblings, which at the time, well, my twin brother is not younger than me, obviously, but my twin and then my younger two sisters, Ayana and Asantewa. And so that was a very... it was just different. And then the way my auntie lived.
I was getting ready to say, was it freeing? Did you feel free?
I don't know if I felt free, honestly.
Oh, you probably didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like,
but it wasn't even, it was just different because her way of life is completely different than how mommy.
Shout out to Aunt Laverne.
Yeah, but it was a weird process
you.
because even though she was like, oh yeah, you could do it and have this. I used to wear my hair in puffballs. She'd be like, get them nappy puffballs out your head. I'd be like,
different.
what? So it was different for me.
Different
because
school.
She was very corporate at the time. She was IBM. Go and get an education and become corporate. And I was looking at her like, yeah, no, that's not what I want to do.
My mama said.
Yeah, and then it would be like she didn't want me to go out and like do anything really, and I'd be like, "Well, I'm going to the library," but then I'd really be at the mall, which was next door with my friends, because I was like, Or I'd catch the train and go to Harlem and hang out with my big sister Aiyisha. I would just find things to do to get away from New Rochelle, or I go to the projects in New Rochelle and hang out with my cousins, the Dixons, because I had to do something because I was so used to a lot of people. So it was really. Shocking, a shell shock, I would say, to my system to be alone and actually have to like have nobody to talk to and play with every day, every minute of the day.
Figure out how to entertain yourself.
Yeah, and she was, I'm telling you, she was strict, but I needed that too because she used to make me iron my uniforms for the whole week. And it was more than, I had about 7 uniforms. And then she'd make me do my hospital corners.
The funny thing about that, let me just interject and say, is that mommy used to do that to me and Chaka.
Oh, see.
But because we were older, so, you know, as more children come, they ease.
We've all had different childhoods.
Yes.
We've had different
childhoods. I'm telling you, I mean, she taught me a lot.
Because they got that from growing up. And they were taught.
Especially with grandma being how she, you know, who she is and what she was. So it did give me a lot of, it was a different type of discipline that I learned that I didn't learn with mommy. And to this day, I still do my hospital corners. I still try to get my sheets as, you know, sometimes I'll be like, oh, maybe I need to iron these sheets because I just don't like the look of them.
I still have a problem folding the fitted sheet. She showed me a bunch of times.
Yes, and
I can't get it right.
I've learned how to do that in different ways.
Trying to make it perfect.
Some days I'm real sloppy with it, but then some days I get real OCD with it and get it together.
Or you can come to my house and do all mine.
But she actually put that OCD in me in certain things. So it was a challenge. And so there's things in me that challenge what mommy taught me and then what she taught me and how to converge them both, you know, to make them normalized for my life. But yeah, so that's my most memorable moment of life.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
All right, Asantewa. What you got?
I got 2. Ooh, which one? Which one is it gonna be? And of course, they both are like thematically aligned with what y'all talked about. Can I do two?
No, we did one.
All right, I'll do the one. The other story has to be shared, but I'll do the one that's connected to a person that we've already talked about, and that's Connie Tucker. So when I was about, I was in was I in middle school? Yes. I was at Jean Childs Young middle school in Southwest Atlanta. And prior to that, it was Southwest. And I remember that vividly because I went and stayed in Decatur with Connie Tucker and Maya, lived at the house. And Oli was back and forth. Oli was grown, so she was, out in the world and college, traveling, etc. And everybody will always say, like, what school you go to? And I used to be like, Southwest, making people think I was in high school, Southwest DeKalb, knowing that I went to Southwest Middle. But hey, that's what you do. But in terms of, how it's connected to what you all talked about, the reason why I stayed with Connie Tucker and Maya was because Mommy had gone to Cuba to do spiritual work. So this was the late 90s. No, mid-90s. Mid-90s. Yeah. And 1993?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
A little
so early.
Because I went to go stay with Eni, so.
Okay.
Yeah. It was late 90s. Wow.
Yeah,
it was
a
like
little
95.
Yeah, because so she went several times.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, because the math didn't math right for me to be in middle school.
The math
it was
ain't
that
mathing.
time.
Yeah.
But so there was an occasion. She did go several times because she did, become initiated in the mysteries of Ifa in the early 90s in Cuba. And so she, this was one of her trips where she went to do spiritual work. And I remember having these feelings of like, similar to Aiyisha, like, dang, man, like.
I need my mama.
Yeah, like, well, how you just going up and leave for 3 months? I remember being upset. And I would write in my journal all kinds of things.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
I had plenty of journals.
Listen.
Yes.
And we've talked about it. Journaling, y'all journal.
It's important.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's safe for you to journal and keep your journal. I had journals that had locks on them, so I would put certain things in that one, and then I had ones that didn't have locks. But I was upset because I felt like, she's leaving me.
Right.
But, obviously as a mother now and in retrospect, just, as a grown woman, I'm like, oh, I understand that need. And I'm glad that she did it.
Yeah.
And I think that some part of me did understand it at that time.
Yeah.
And I love and appreciate her for not just saying, okay, I'm out, but she set me up. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm gonna put you right over here, with Connie Tucker, who, is capable of guiding you over this semester. It was like 3 months. And then you also have Maya, somebody that can be your companion, somebody that also can guide you, because Maya is a little bit older than me. I don't even remember how, but less than 2 years. And so, we bonded. I think I slept in her room. I was going to say we shared a room. It was her room. I slept in her room. And she, they both just was so warm and open. And I never felt that sadness or sense of like abandonment anymore, like as time went through. Because I was like, oh no, I have been placed within the warmth of a mother and, and a sibling.
And that's the village. That's the village.
Yeah, that's what it means.
And I did want to say, because, Asantewa was talking about how she felt,
she felt it.
with Mommy. And I do want to make sure that I do say that it was different when I was talking about those years, because that was during the time when our mother was a political prisoner and then was underground. So I know y'all have heard us, talk a little bit about that, but I just wanted to make sure that I made that distinction, that the time that, I wasn't able to be, I really wasn't able to be with her and not even be able to talk to her, like pick up the phone and talk to her if I wanted to, had to wait for those calls, when she could call and those things. And I do want to say that during that time, the village, again, was there and stepped in. And you mentioning, being with Connie and Maya made me think about Patricia Jones, may she, rest in peace. And she had one daughter, Yanan, and Yanan was much younger than me, and they opened their home up to me for 11th grade year. I had my own room, and, they really treated me like family. So, I think, the blessings that we have had of who our village is, and that's our parents were very good at picking who,
strategic,
who is the village. So there was never any issue. Like I never felt uncomfortable. I never felt like I couldn't be myself, that I couldn't go to Pat and talk to her, about things. And, it was a blessing. And I mean, it's a blessing to be able to have those people that you can go to, those people who are willing to, of course, she, she's welcome here. Like, it's just really, I feel, that we were blessed with that.
And
shout out to
me
the community aunties.
Yes.
It makes it, because she brought it, Asantewa brought it up, and it brought that memory to you. And it brought back, because when that time happened for Asantewa, it happened for me, where I went to go live with Eni. And Akila was there. And Akila's about 2 years older than me, but she took me in as a little sister. And that was my senior year, prom, everything.
Remember. Yeah.
And I felt the same way, like, how she leave? I got prom. I have this, And it was just so many things going on internally in me. But Eni was such a great mother for me. To this day, I when I have to go to Fayetteville, I'll be like, oh, Eni's over there at work. There's times I've dropped in at her job just to say hey. I still, me and Akila still speak to each other. We, all that type of stuff. And it, like you said, it formed bonds that we didn't even know we needed.
Yeah.
And it gave us other outlets.
But like we've said before, our mother
Mother
knew.
was very strategic.
She knew. Yeah,
because
knew.
I could say, I don't even remember truly knowing Eni and Akila and them prior to that time. It was kind of like, but it was something because we bonded immediately, And I gained two big sisters from Eni, Javanna, may she rest in peace, and Akila, who, like I said, we still communicate, we still make sure we stay and know what's going on in each other's lives. So I just, shout out to Mommy, even though for me, I didn't understand at the time, and I'm not even going to say I did. I was more hurt and disappointed because I wanted her to be there for my prom, but I had other people there, and that
was that prom that you showed.
Oh, I showed
up and out.
We're gonna have to have Cal for real put a picture so folks can see.
Yeah,
we're gonna take a pause right now. Look at this prom picture. Yes,
look at her. Don't she look amazing?
With the auburn.
Yes.
No, that was not that prom.
Oh,
that wasn't that.
Oh gosh.
Do you have a picture?
It was the junior.
We still
prom.
gonna show it.
I still have.
All right.
We still gonna show it.
We're not showing the senior one. No, the junior prom picture is the one that Mommy wasn't at.
Oh,
that was the junior senior prom.
Okay.
Yeah, so I should have said junior year. My bad. I said senior year.
You
That's
did. That's
confused.
Exactly. I was like, I know. How you feel, Miss Asante?
Confused. So yeah, we can pop that picture. I do have it. But yeah, I definitely represented. Thankful to Mommy, because that was also an inspiration to her. How she taught us to represent who we are, no matter what everybody else is doing. Yeah. Yes. And then shout out to my Doda Anitsky, Sister Makeda, who made my dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me tell y'all a story of why I had to wear a gele, a head wrap. I went to go get my hair straightened for the first time ever in my life. I got there, and I waited 3 hours for this chick. I don't even remember her name. I remember where I was on Ponce de Leon, sitting there waiting. The girl never showed up. And I just took it as, and my hair was half done. I had half twist, half out. And I was like, how am I going to go to the prom like this? I had enough fabric left over to do my head wrap. So when y'all see the picture, y'all know what I'm saying? It happened for us.
Now you got the backstory.
Oh, I didn't realize you was trying to straighten it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was like the prom. And I, it was like, let me fit in some way. But I wasn't supposed to fit in at all. I was supposed to be the trendsetter, because the next year, about 5 girls tried it, but they tried.
They tried, and
that's funny. For my prom, my hair, my hair was natural, so I asked Mommy, do my braids and then do my. I was
I
like,
remember that
yeah,
picture.
we gonna do it.
Woo, that was a princess ball dress.
We
she
gonna
had
do
on,
it.
too.
I found that dress because at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. And I went in New Orleans, there used to be Krause. It's,
I kinda remember
may it
that
rest in
name.
peace. It's gone now. But I found that dress. I walked in there in like 5 minutes.
Wow. And then didn't you go with Devin?
I
Because he
did.
looked like Babyface.
I
He
did.
always reminds me of Babyface.
Wow. Wow. And I guess you're right. Wow.
Devin. Yeah,
Devin, I'm
Devin.
gonna have to call you and tell you what my sister said. But anyway, yes, I did. Yes, Devin was my boyfriend at the time.
Devin if he gonna hear you say that,
He's not gonna hear me say this.
you say it out to the universe. I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next question is, which of our siblings is actually your favorite?
Girl.
So funny. So I will go first as the eldest daughter.
We know who it is. It's me. No. Spoiler alert.
So my answer is that my favorite sibling is everyone for different reasons.
Different relationships.
Exactly, and for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like I really do. Like I love my siblings. Like we got the funny ones. We have the super emotional.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You know, we have the it runs the gamut. It
Because
does.
we're human.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yes.
But I will say the funniest is our oldest brother Jay. Jay,
I wish I could cue his laugh. Can we cue his laugh?
going to like
We got to.
Jay.
Gotta record it.
Yeah, we got
And
to.
we got to record him saying, nigga.
No, we don't. But Jay is that one. It doesn't matter where we are, what's
Oh my
happening.
gosh.
It could be a serious
yeah.
situation. We're going to laugh.
Anything.
You're going to try to hold it in.
Yes.
And then he's going to laugh
not
very
gonna be able
loudly in his manner.
And
That's it. And it's
And
just
his
going
laugh,
to be.
domino
yeah,
effect.
his
Yeah.
laugh is infectious.
Yes.
Jay, yes.
Yes.
I would, I don't have a favorite one that,
Y'all lying.
that I would,
Asantewa wants it to be here. I will say, I will
gonna be
share a
brave
story.
enough.
Yeah, y'all
I'll share a
have a
story.
favorite,
I'll share a
yeah.
story that I have with my two siblings that I do this podcast with.
Or I can say too that another question was that we can link to this one. What's your favorite thing about each other, or your favorite thing about a sibling? So,
right.
But that's, I mean, it's so much.
I know.
with
But
that
you can
too.
just do us.
Yeah, so I'll
go
do
ahead.
y'all.
No.
So I will say, so you guys don't know, Asantewa and I are 16 years apart. And when she was born, I
could've been my
literally, yeah, and my friend
mama.
said if they didn't know
Yeah.
that I wasn't pregnant,
Right.
that
They
they would
would've
have thought.
thought, yeah.
Because that's how much I took her with me. Like, I had her everywhere. Like, oh, come on.
baby.
She was like, she was literally my baby doll. Like, I'm like, let's go. I dress her, buy her clothes. My favorite was this blue dress.
They took
that
pictures
she had.
together.
Yes, she's in it.
Oh,
We have pictures,
yes.
and she's in that. She's
Come
sitting on my lap.
Slideshow this time.
She's sitting on my lap in her blue dress. And
Oh, I love that picture
Yes.
too.
People always see
I
that
love
in my
that
house and
picture.
be like, "Is that your sister's daughter?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, people always think. Even to this day, though,
Yes.
people think that we're mother and daughter,
Yeah.
and they think we're younger than we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And
They
it's
think
so
that-
funny.
yeah.
So funny. Now, Mdaiyah, we have so many, but one of the times, your trip for senior year of high school, we went to Disney,
Yeah.
and that was just fun because that was our what'd you say you was jealous?
I was always jealous. I wanted to go to Disney World.
And I think because I asked you what you wanted to do.
And I don't think I said that.
I don't know how we got to it. How did we get
and
to
I
Disney?
didn't say Disney.
No, I'm only saying
I
that
said
because
Cancun.
You didn't know?
And
Yeah,
somehow
You
didn't
I
know
ended
where
up
you
in
wanted to
Orlando.
But that's what happened.
And it was fun. We had a
And I got
ball.
my first 2 original Coach bags ever in life.
Yes.
Oh.
From Aiyisha.
Yes.
From my graduation on
Okay.
that trip.
Yeah.
We went to the Coach store.
Yeah.
Coach outlet out there.
Yeah, that's when Coach
But,
was popping.
yeah.
Popping. It's trying to
I
come
remember
back.
I had
Coming
a
back.
green, I had a green book bag, like the little purse bag, and then I had a brown one, like a camel.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice. It was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so that trip, because I don't think we hadn't taken a trip, just,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
me and
right.
you.
So
And
that
shout
was
out to
nice.
Gaynor.
Yes,
she was
Gaynor
with
went with
us.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
knew there was was another person I couldn't remember
Yep.
who it was.
Yeah. And we went to visit her family while we were there, her
I
dad.
just talked about that trip recently with somebody.
Yeah. So we had a good time. That was a good trip.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many things with, all of the siblings, like the special moments with all of them. I love the times when we're all together, even if there's usually always 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 missing. There's a lot of us.
Yeah.
So it's very, very hard to get us all in the same place at the same
but
time.
Once there's like 4 or more,
it's
over.
It's a party. It's a party. It's a party.
It's so fun. It feels so warm and just like I feel at home. Like no matter where we are.
Right. Yeah. And I would say, I don't have a favorite sibling. But of course, I have a special sibling because he was like, he was my big brother. So all little girls love their big brothers. And I guess that's why Aiyisha probably chose Jay too, because he is her big brother. But Chaka's my, big brother. Through
that's your favorite
everything.
sibling.
No, I didn't say he's my favorite.
You didn't have to.
Okay.
Right.
You're saying it without saying it.
That's what you said, Frank. That's what you said.
Yeah. What you had said was.
Okay, anyway. Y'all is so extra. No, but because I just know, just looking at pictures and just stories of when we were younger, how he would take care of me. Even when I was a teenager, it was just things I needed. And because of how, our parents were always traveling or just doing a lot of things, he was always there. Senior prom, he paid for everything for me. Not everything. My stuff to get my dress made. Of course, the date had to do the rest. But at the end of the day, though, my brother, as a person who, looks at life of just differently. He's always been there to kind of drop his jewels. He really does believe that he's the smartest person in our family, and he believes that he's always right about everything.
But Asantewa is on paper, according to him.
Right, on paper, according to him. But I will say he always has great things to talk about. I remember one time him and I were having this battle, the man's perspective versus the woman's perspective. And of course, my daughter Ziki, she's like, you and Uncle Chaka, oh my gosh, y'all are just alike. Y'all bad about the same things. Y'all have these same gestures. I'm walking down the street, you wink at me, then he winks at me. I'm like, what? She was like, y'all just do certain things alike. And I started to think about it oh yeah. I've looked at pictures and I'm like, oh, we do have a lot of similarities. But I think we have a different bond because he's Jeff, all of my big brothers, but he was the big brother that was in the house that took care of me and then did certain things. Even though one time he did give me, a couple of times, he did some discipline to our relationship.
I don't
It
think
was
he
needed.
tried.
Yeah, he did.
He did it.
Well, if we're going to say that.
It wasn't. No, one time it wasn't.
Oh, that was, I know. I remember
what I'm
that.
saying? Even though he tries to deny it to this day.
Yeah.
I know what he did.
And to our listeners, I wasn't living in the house at this time. I was already gone. I was in New York. At the time, I was living back in New York.
I was the keeper of his things. So I was like, how you go? But, at the end of the day, Chaka Zulu. And then, of course, all my siblings. And then my twin. Shut up. My twin is someone who, regardless of, we're not as close. And maybe it's because we're very different. It's weird. We're twins, but we're so different. I'm extroverted. He's introverted. Even though now he's trying to be very extroverted. And I'm a little more introverted
Not
now.
very.
He is.
Kofi. Shout out to Kofi.
Well.
Yes, Shakur.
Yes, Shakur, General. We have a bond as well. We could feel each other in different ways. We've experienced certain things that both of us experience at different times. It's weird. And then the other thing is our children. It's spitting image of each other. His oldest daughter looks exactly like me, and then my youngest son looks exactly like him. The other day, I was packing, and Ziki pulled out a picture and she sent it to her siblings, and they was like, "Hey, Evan," and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" No. So there's that bond. Yeah. But like Aiyisha said, though, when we're all together, all 15,000 of us, oh my gosh, the joy that just being amongst one another is.
I love it.
And the fact that we're bonded through just us being us, is not all blood bonded, is simply amazing. Yeah. And I just love the fact that we have each other.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
And we're all spread out in different places now.
We are.
But we come together for the most important things. We come together for the most silliest of things. And I love it that we always have each other's back no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. Well, since you brought up our brother, and you said that's your big brother, as his big sister, so Chaka and I are 2.5 years apart.
She's like, now I can say it.
Right.
He's my favorite
twins.
too.
But I have to say, we are that. Like when you were talking about you and Kofi and the things that y'all like, me and Chaka have that bond, and I think it's because, you know, it was just me and him, you know, with mommy, you know, first. So we had that
Before y'all came,
you know,
First.
before she had to
before the rest of y'all
get pregnant 4 more
crashed the
times.
party.
Or 3.
Actually, it was 3.
No, I corrected. That's what I said. Or 3.
Is there another one out there? No.
Right.
Uh,
Could be not.
Who's to say?
Oh,
But yeah, so you know, having that bond, because I always took care of him. So like he took care of you, I took care of him.
Yes.
You know, and it just, you know, some of the stories and the things. And I was talking to somebody about mommy last week, and I was talking about being in the airport, and either she was coming back from somewhere or getting ready to go somewhere, whatever, and she needed to go to the ticket counter, and I was there with her, and me and Chaka both were there with her, and she said, I need you to watch your brother. I'm going to be right here at this counter. And Chaka was in the stroller. And a lady came up. She said, don't let nobody touch him. Don't let nobody. Lady goes, she said, oh my God, he's so cute. Look at that. I said, don't you touch him. I said a little bit more than that. I said, my mommy don't want touching us.
Oh, God.
Touching.
Oh,
the lady was like, she clutched her pearls.
Wow.
Sorry, lady.
Right. Bye-bye.
She just like, and mommy just turned around, turned right back around and finished doing what she was doing at the counter. Like, yes.
She probably gave you a high five. Good job.
I probably got some ice cream when we left the airport. I don't remember. I don't
job,
know.
Aiyisha.
Yeah. Soldier Aiyisha.
Right.
But yes, always taken care of, and that is never changing.
Yeah.
So yes, and that goes for all of them.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. So the question, I threw it in there definitely as a setup. Because I was like, yeah, I don't think any of us have favorites. But we can definitely look to each sibling and talk about, you know, our favorite moments with them. And talk about, like, you know, just what they mean to us. And I'm getting emotional. So, yeah, definitely, you know, Chaka stands out. I shared that. And as I get older, I continue to think about all the things that people have done for me. And I know Chaka and I banter a whole lot. It's our favorite thing to do.
Yes.
It's our love language. And even at his 50th, you know, I had so many jokes.
Oh,
and that was one of the
so many jokes.
Of like, yeah, Chaka said he raised me. But really, you know, he participated in that. You know, like Chaka and Aiyisha really were like mommy and daddy number one, you know, number two. Mommy number 2, daddy number 2. So much so that even at my wedding, I don't know if y'all remember when they called for daddy daughter dance, Chaka came to the to the floor. I don't even know if daddy realized it, because daddy was there kind of like with me already. He was already kind of positioned, lined up, and Chaka definitely came out, and it was like, oh. Not me. Right. So we've always had
and
that.
then Baba do it too.
Yeah.
You had a lot.
Will the real dad please stand up? Right. But no, it's a blessing though to think about, you know, having multiple parents, like and your siblings. So I think that is one of the advantages of, you know, our gap, you know, 16 years. And I think with me and him, it's 13 years. And so, yeah, those are definitely those moments. And I didn't realize he paid for your prom. So I did go to prom in middle school. And so, again, this is all connected. The same school that I went to when I went and stayed with Connie Tucker. he did pay, and not only did he pay for like my dress and shoes, he also paid for a limousine or a car service. I'm not sure if it was a limousine. And gave me some cash. Like he really set it all up. Like here, like you're going.
Right.
These are the benefits that you get from your siblings who didn't have all of
exactly.
those things.
And you have no excuse. Like I'm setting you all the way up. Now, did I lose that cash when I got there? Yes, I did.
Oh,
and I was so upset.
Somebody was happy.
Right.
Somebody came up.
Yes. Hey. And Aiyisha, you know, as mommy number 2, like Aiyisha bought me my first cell phone. And I think I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17. And I think it was you and Avery. He's like, you need a phone. And I was like, you know what, I do. I do need a phone. Because all my friends had phones. And it was that time. Like cell phones were coming out. Wow, I can't believe we're that old, y'all.
Yeah.
No, you're old.
Cell phones. Wow, cell phones were becoming popular. Yes. Ain't that crazy to say? Wow. Yeah. So they bought me T-Mobile. I don't know if we should be counting out the names because they're not paying us. But I remember that because I had the prepaid. So I would get the phone cards. And remember when we had an incoming call, it was free for the first 60 seconds. So if I couldn't, so I said the name of the company for a reason because if folks out there had it, you remember. So I remember having folks call me and be like, all right, I'm gonna hang up.
Call me back.
Call me right back. We would talk at like 50-second intervals.
That's how you saved.
Yes. And then sometimes if you missed out, you hung up right at like 61 seconds. You're like, they're gonna charge me. And it was only like 10 cents a minute. It was crazy. But like things like that, just looking out and like Aiyisha said, like ensuring that we had things as younger siblings that they didn't have.
And then even up to the point of you remember like when Asantewa was in college and she was in New York in the apartment and I would come to visit.
I ain't forgot about none of that.
She didn't want to like. I know she needed it, but if I said, "Oh, you need money," she'd be like, "No."
Right.
And
who doesn't need money?
And I would always leave it.
Right.
And then I would tell her after I left, go open the drawer in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, and
or she would just put it in my pocket.
Yeah. And certain things that I would say to make sure you had. Yeah. Like when you live alone and you ain't hardly got no money, like you doing these things, I would like, always make sure you keep cornbread. Yeah. Like things that you could stretch and make. Yeah. I was like,
staples.
Keep these things. Make sure you have tuna. Like, so you're never hungry. Like, it's something you can eat.
Yeah.
Something you can eat.
Yeah.
And speaking of giving, because we, growing up, we grew up the way we grew up. So, of course, Chaka bought his first car. It was a Isuzu Trooper. I love that car. And he gave it to me as my first car. Oh, so it's like, it's those things that, are forever memorable. And it just makes me think, because my husband's always like, you and your siblings, boy, nothing comes between you. And it's not even nothing comes between us. It's just that we've been through some things in our life that it's like there's a impenetrable wall there that we always have with one another because it was a point in our life that all we had was one another. Right. And so it's like when we marry or somebody marries into our family, it's like, okay, now we have to, and my husband will tell people, oh, I went through a time getting in there. I had to break down some walls. He was like, and I'm still breaking down walls. He said, because I was threatened. I was told if I do something, a knife is coming to me, But he
had a trial period.
Yeah, he respects our bond and our family so much. And just reflecting on what we're saying here, it really makes you see what other people see sometimes.
I was going to say, because people look at us differently, and then because there are a lot of people who have siblings and others, but they look at us and they're like, wait, so y'all don't have the same mom and dad?
Right. But
I'm like,
and y'all still close?
Right.
Yeah.
And, or the ones who, my father had other children, and I'm like, prior. So you don't consider them your, because it's, but there is a separation from people. Like if the other parent doesn't send them over, or and so for us,
it was different.
It just always was like that. Like all the parents, I have a lot of parents. because the mom, you know,
Yeah,
Jay and Jeff's mom, I introduced her as my mom.
Yeah.
And so people, if they know, like, they're like, wait, huh? What? I thought,
Right.
Yeah, it is, but that's my mom. You know, it's the same. You know, like people say that, you know, me and be like, oh, y'all look just like they would say, oh my God. Yeah. And we would just like thank you, and just laugh. And I guess, you know, you're around somebody long enough. You do. You know, but so people look at that and they, you know, they're like, oh, I didn't even realize. You know, like people don't know. They're like, oh, I thought, oh, yeah.
Because people be like,
And because we are.
Because it is, it is, and we are.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like, when I think about Jeff, because I'm going to keep going with these stories. Jeff, he's like the Papa Bear. And the crazy thing is he always want to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Why he called me the other day to tell me about my 21-year-old son going on tour with his grown son. And I said, Jeff, he is grown. He was like, yeah, but I just want to make sure you know, I got to, I got to make sure. Exactly. And I was like, okay, Jeff, thank you.
You know he couldn't go out like that.
Come on now. Make sure. Come on, fool, you know. Yeah. I got to make sure you know. And I was like, yeah, Kafani did call me, so I didn't know.
I gave him permission.
I know. If he could go. And I said, who's going to be with you?
Oh, my goodness.
Spread your wings, my boy.
Here go Jeff. Well, you know I'm going with them for at least a day or two. I'm like, thank you, Jeff. I'm glad you're going to be with them. But that's who he is.
Yeah, I was so happy to see. But let me just say, I was so happy to see my nephews just out there
together,
living and doing their thing.
Right. And like you said, that relationship there, Jeff is my brother because Aiyisha and Chaka are my brother and sister through our mother. So we don't even have the blood.
You don't share a common parent.
Right, we don't share a common parent, but nobody could ever say we don't, you know, or could ever tell from.
We share
only
the bond
because we say
love. Yeah.
Because he loves all of our children, all his nieces and nephews, like, oh no, that's mine over there. I be looking at him like, all of them yours. He has his favorites at his moment.
Yes.
But you know, just thinking about that, and then thinking about Ish and the fact that all of them call him Abu. He'd be like, yeah, I'm everybody's father.
No, you're not. Because he thinks he is. No.
Yes.
Abu Ishmael.
That would be a no.
Yes. He'd be like, but he will gather the children.
He does.
Definitely.
He does the crazy, fun things.
He's very child-centered.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Like, everything is about, what does that man-child want? I'd be like, what that child don't have a choice.
Right.
Like, no, they have a choice. That woman-child
I admire him for that.
He's child-centered, but he turns my baby upside down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I borrowed that from him.
Come on. No, and I do like his concept. You know, and that's the beauty of it. We all have different concepts of how we raise our children.
Yeah. He's a great dad. He's a great Abu.
Uncle, yes.
And an uncle and you know,
big brother,
and a brother, all of the things.
Daddy,
but yes.
father, whatever you want to call him,
but
daddy, uncle.
His daughter Tendaji, like he does this thing with her and she's just so chill. He carries her and he'll turn her upside. I'm like, why are you turning her upside down? What's happening?
Like,
or he carry her sideways or something.
Right.
And I always go and save her.
Yes, because that man there. But, you know, each sibling, of course, since we said some, we got to. So, like, our sister Fatiha, she's the oldest of our father Bilal, biologically. And she's funny. Her antics are crazy.
What?
Yes.
You be like, how did you even come up with that?
Listen. And all the time.
She got jokes.
Yeah. And always like Fatiha brand, which is just like her daddy.
Okay.
You your daddy's son.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
But yeah, we exchange laughs all the time.
Yes.
Now through memes. That's how we communicate our laughter and humor.
Yeah.
So there's so many other questions.
Yes, and we done got off on the siblings.
Yeah.
But shout out to all of our siblings.
Shout out.
Like that.
And I know that there was one question in the people want to know.
Yes.
Where somebody asks about if we have disagreements and things like that. And you kind of spoke to that a little bit earlier. And, you know.
We do.
Yes, we have disagreements.
Yeah.
However, because I don't want to say, but I don't want to negate it. We have disagreements and we have different ways of being. And I think that it doesn't escalate beyond just having a difference of opinion. Like we have discussions and sometimes maybe those discussions might get heated, for the moment, but we really leave it there. I don't know that we're like harboring, like intentionally harboring, because sometimes you can do it, not intentionally.
Right.
There are areas, that you need to heal, and work through, to strengthen bonds and things like that. But for the most part, I think we allow the moment to be what it is, and then we love each other unconditionally.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we have them, and we work through it through love and continuing to talk and be open. Because I think even when we may not share every single thing, like I'll notice a shift in one of my siblings' behavior, like if I have said something. So I think we've also been able to do that too, where it's like, okay, we don't have to sit and talk it, all the way through,
Right.
Or talk it to death, but I heard you, and I'm going to respond according to what I heard and what I know. Yeah. Because I think we all have that keen awareness about just what we've all been through. So, we have banter back and forth and all of that, but it's love. Yeah. And it's unconditional love and support no matter what.
Yeah.
And we show up for each other.
Definitely. I would agree. I definitely agree with Asantewa on that. Just because, and then people may not understand it sometimes. I could just speak when our brother, my twin, and I, we had a little banter on our road trip to New York. And of course, the people who were in the car are laughing, my father and my son. And they were laughing. And they were laughing, even though Daddy was like, be quiet or we're going to turn this car around. Made us feel like we was 10. But my two children who were in the car laughed. But then when they reported it to their other siblings, they was like, yo, they argued. But then in about 20 minutes later, they sitting there talking like nothing happened. And that's just...
Because you just got to get it out and then you just keep on moving.
Yeah, you got to address it.
Exactly.
And
and so that's an example of just how we do. And then to others, it's like, oh, they about to it's about to go down. But then it goes.
And then I know we talk strong.
It ain't no. It ain't no baby. You okay? No, it's like, what? Are you crazy?
Yeah, we let it out.
But then, like you said, we show it in love, or we joke, and then that we done. We say a joke, like throw something out there, and it's over. But I think too, what's important is because some people don't have that, that comfortability to do that, and we're not even going to put it out there like all of our siblings have those same relationships. Some of us are less close or not as close as we are with others. Some are super close. And that's just how it's always. I think that's just
that's
common.
human nature.
Yeah, and it's human nature because you're going to relate more with someone who relates closer to you,
and for all different kind of reasons,
right?
Yeah.
So I would, I want to put that out there just for transparency that yes, it's about, let's say 16, 17 of us, and sometimes you'll see two of us together that you be like, dang, I didn't even know y'all had another sister. And you be like, yes, this is
another
what it is.
one.
It's 7 girls and 9 boys, and like we said, it's such a combination of
Somebody's
us. Somebody's
listening now, like, what?
Like, when we get together, though, whatever we don't do or whatever we don't like about it's out the window. We choose that time to bond,
family
to
time, love,
and
laugh.
We realize how surface it is because the love is so deep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then our children get to see it. So they be like,
yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought, and then they be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And we show up for each other.
Yeah, no matter what.
No matter what. We just show up for each other.
And
even if you can't show up physically.
Yeah, you show up.
You feel the spirit, you feel the energy,
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. That's the love. And I like the fact that we're able to show that to our children who show it with one another as siblings, as cousins. I mean, they do a lot together because we've shown them that this is how it's supposed to be. And they choose each other first and foremost. And that's so important, and I'm just proud of us being that example. And I'm proud of our parents for showing us and for us taking up that mantle and prayerfully as we're witnessing our children doing the same. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you said parents showing us too, because that was one of the first thoughts that I had, which is that we've seen our parents do that.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked about this before, like with our father, Baba Bilal, and Aisha's father, you know, Ahmed Obafemi, which is both of our fathers.
Yes.
Right? But the fact that they were able to come together and be brothers.
Yes.
And not like, oh, the current and you know, it's not, it's so we've watched them, not only that dynamic, but so many other dynamics of working in community, like even being a movement builder. It's all about recognizing that we have something that's far greater, right? We can't get caught up in surface issues. Like we have to stick with, you know, principle. And I think that that's what we've carried on in our family unit and
one thing that came to my mind when you said that, thought about, and so, you know, shout out to our babas, but, you know, we have to talk about the mamas, too. So when talk about, I was remembering the time when Kofi had
because they couldn't have done that if Ia Falani was, you know, acting crazy.
I remember the time when Kofi had that car accident in Belize. And Mommy went, and Mama Synovia went. And
packed up.
You know, they had to go, and they wound up bringing him back, you know, and thankful because they went together, and it was like, y'all have to go. Okay. And I think we just made all the arrangements for them to, you know, get on the plane and everything.
And they weren't always the best of friends.
They weren't. But they were always comrades, and the family
and sisters
is more important than any of the other things. And then, you know, shout out to the OG, Mama Mag. You know, that's my father's first wife and the mother of Jay and Jeff. And, you know, although she was not in the movement, like she just always was just right there, and you know,
was in it
with that cigarette. I love Mama Mag because she keep it real. Right, she say what she got to say.
Oh, always.
But she leave you thinking. Like,
it be like a quick and dirty.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just say this.
Yes.
Now I like your potato salad, but you need to do this, and that, and then she walk away like, all right, I heard you.
Yes. And then and of course, you know, I don't want to leave out Mama Kenya, who, rest in peace. She was a beautiful soul. Like her presence, she was Fatiha. She is Fatiha, Daruba, Warren, and James' mom. And man, she like, I loved her because she would just call me at 4 a.m. and just have like a conversation like it's a normal hour, and I'm like,
because for her it was. Her 4 a.m. was somebody else's,
and if she had something to say to you,
and she was going to say it when she knew what she needed to say it, so she wouldn't forget. But I would always answer the phone, and she'd be like, "Oh, well, I just love you," and I'd be like, "I love you too." I'd be like, "I'm going back to sleep," and I'll call you tomorrow or whatever. But you know, just because those different relationships was so phenomenal, and I just wanted to definitely acknowledge Mama Synovia and Mama Mag when Mommy passed, because their presence was so important. Like them being there and just holding us up through that transition was powerful, because when you know, losing her was so impactful, but then to know that both of them stepped in, you know, not in her place, but stepped in that space at the time that we needed it the most was so important. And that really defines the relationship that they established, you know, without even having to talk about it. Because I don't think they called each other, and they definitely didn't call us and say what we needed. They just was there.
They just stepped up.
You know, and then same thing when Baba Ak passed. Daddy was just there. You know, and then when Baba Curtis passed, he made sure he was there for Ishmael and Ivory and, well, I'm sorry, Fatoke and Saad and Abdullah and Paul. You know, he made sure that he was there for them. And, you know, and then our siblings that came from those unions that have passed on, Daruba and Synovia, like those bonds that we've shared, and just knowing that we have all of that because of what they exemplified for us is so important. And we've gained so much from it, you know, and we've collected, like, beyond just them as siblings, we've collected so many other people because of who they've collected and brought into our family.
One big family.
One big family. And I'm just grateful, you know, that we have it.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
So.
All right. So I think we have time for one more.
One more.
Do y'all want to do a Would You Rather?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So y'all want to pick, or?
Go ahead and pick.
All right.
I know it's so many good ones here.
Yeah.
We're not going to say what they all are because we can come back to some of these different times and use them.
Okay, I'm just gonna choose. Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button?
How about I just looked at that?
It was so many. Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
So this is Aiyisha. I would rather have a pause.
I agree with that
Yes.
too. Yeah,
Because I know that
Yeah.
I can be knee jerk a lot of times. So I would say the pause would. And that's what I'm practicing. I was talking about it earlier. I'm actually getting better at that. I've been practicing taking a beat before I react or respond because it's needed.
Yeah.
So, yes, the pause.
it's-
Definitely the pause.
And I actually concur because I think the way we grew up and the way, like, just so we was on the go, that we just, it's just part of us. No matter how much we try to kind of, like, not allow it to be, it is part of us. It's like part of our DNA.
Yep.
So the pause button is so important. I've, too, have come to a place where I'm like, okay, before I reply, I need to think. And then
Think it
I
through.
pause, like I'll pause for a long time, not even just a small moment. Sometimes I'll pause for like a day and be like, let me really see how I want to reply to that. Or I'll just pause for 5 minutes. But I have to give myself that grace period because if I don't, then what's said cannot be taken back.
Right.
Yeah, that's the
Even
thing.
if I know later that I didn't want to say all that stuff and the way I may have said it, the way it came off. But I know that because I did not give myself the grace period or that person a grace period to even think about what they said, that I reacted, in a manner that I didn't have to. But giving yourself a pause is so important.
Yeah.
And I thought about the rewind, but then I'm like, then you erase certain experiences that you need.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the pause comes from also reflecting on those
Yes, because I'm saying if you have the rewind button,
Then
you can
it's
just
gone.
continue to be reckless.
Yes.
And
Right.
then because
Yeah.
you're gonna go back and
Right.
yeah, no.
So
And
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer too, and like the past is the past. Like
It
it
is.
happened, and sometimes
It happened
talking
and
about like forgiveness
happened
and stuff
for a
like that.
reason.
It is difficult sometimes to get over the past, and the past does continue to live with you, depending on how you live your life and what you've released,
Yeah.
what you've learned and got support in releasing. That doesn't serve you because we don't need to release the past. There's
Right.
a lot of the past that actually help us, and that's what we're talking about right now.
Right.
But yeah, for me too, I would choose the pause button. And I think it's just because in this time I'm tired. So I'm like, I would press pause so that I could just rest and catch
Take
my
a beat,
breath.
yeah.
Because with two little ones, things are it's just always on. Just always on. From very early in the morning to late at night.
Yep.
It's just
'Cause they don't
on.
pause.
Yeah, and they have different schedules. And so I think at any time, but especially this time, like pause is like a no-brainer. Like, yes, let me pause. And then, like you said, things are always happening. Like even, our childhood, and then when we look at, the world today, and just looking at what's happening around the world, it's like you do want to just pause sometime and just say,
Yes.
because
Take
in
a
so
breath.
many ways we have to just keep going. Like
We do.
because you got work and you have children and all of these things that you have to attend to. So yeah, if I had a magic pause button, I would use it.
Yep.
I definitely would.
Yes. Indeed.
We'll play this game again.
Yeah, we need to play.
We
the game
definitely will do this again because
again. We had lots of questions that we
definitely-
didn't even
yes.
get
Yeah.
to.
so maybe the next time we can have a segment with it's just called Would You Rather.
Right.
So yeah.
Or something like
And
that.
we'll do
Yeah.
our best to answer what the people want to know as much as possible in each segment because that's important too
Yeah.
to kind of get the feedback from the
Oh,
people
definitely.
and give them some answers that we may not even know, but to be able to help them to find some understanding and balance too.
I just thought maybe we could call it you could get with this or you could get with that. Or this or that.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or something like that.
Or something like that.
Okay. Yes.
You all are witnessing brilliance at work.
Yeah.
Yes,
This
always,
is our think
always.
tank, y'all.
This is
That's
our
what we
think
do.
tank.
So yes, thank you all for listening.
Thank you for
You know,
listening.
Talk about what we rather and what not, and just
Our
answer
life stories. And
some lighthearted questions.
Yeah.
That turned out to be not so lighthearted. Because
Right.
we're just not those kinds of
Yeah.
gals.
It just brings out.
a lot.
Yes.
So.
But thank you for tuning in. Until next time, be blessed.
Out. Peace.
You have been listening to the Seeds of Revolution, Daughters of the Whirlwind podcast.
Listen to us at blackpowermedia.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow us at Seeds of Revolution, that's Seeds with a Z, and Daughters of the Whirlwind on all platforms.
Be blessed.
Look for me in the world.